So we are now starting our Global Chamber Virtual League of Extraordinaries, and it's a holiday version of it. We probably should have given Dave Plunkett the opportunity to do this on a regular day because it's a little bit lighter than normal. But nonetheless, Dave Plunkett is an extraordinary leader, and he's an expert on collaboration and business referrals, and he'll be our moderator and facilitator today. So Dave, without further ado, I know what you need to do, and you know what is going on, and so I turn it over to you. Thank you for your support and collaboration.
Also, awesome. Thanks, Doug. Thanks for the opportunity. And you can always get me back. It's fine. You can always get me back to host another time. As long as I do a good enough job today, I suppose. So, welcome everyone. So I'm Dave. Doug mentioned I'm part of the London chapter of the Global Chamber. So as the great Katie Keith always kicks off her meetings, good morning, good afternoon, good evening to wherever you are in the world, and welcome to the League of Extraordinaires. So, quick show of hands, have you all been on one of these events? Quick show of hands if you've been on one of these events before. Yeah, okay. So most do, a decent percentage of us. Okay, right. So we know what the score is. Renee, do you so essentially these events are all about helping other members to connect us to people they may know and sharing a little bit more about what we do. So what we're going to do is everyone's going to get, normally it's 2 to 3 minutes each, right? To explain a little bit about who you are, what you do, who your ideal client is, how you help them, and how you help your ideal client. What I would say is the more specific we can be, the better. Even if you can help anyone, when you say to people, I can work with any business, it really doesn't help people think of the person that they can introduce you to. So even if you think of it just for today's call, have a think about how the people in this small but beautifully formed group may be able to help you with what you need right now. So looking for specific introductions, maybe it's not even clients that you're looking for right now, maybe it's partners that you're looking for, maybe it's another opportunity. So if we can be as specific as possible around the direct request that we're looking for today, that'll help us all get some good value out of that. So as I said, normally it's 2 to 3 minutes around who you are and what you do, with a couple of minutes Q&A. I think we can afford to be slightly more relaxed about that, but let's keep it concise where we can. And Lynn, I'm going to kick off with you, if that's okay.
Yeah, that's fine. Hi, everyone. Good morning. I'm a member of New York City chapter. I joined over a year ago, and also on the advisory board of the Chicago chapter. So it's good to be here. Ledger Funding is the company that I've been building for the past few years. It's a marketplace for working capital financing. We help small and medium enterprises, including exporters and importers, grow with non-bank solutions such as supply chain finance, purchase order financing, and invoice factoring. And what sets us apart is it's built on the enterprise blockchain platform. So we receive a patent for how we use the technology to tamper-proof the imported financial information. And very importantly is that the algorithm cannot be manipulated to advantage certain parties. So you would say, why does it matter? Well, if you think about it, on a daily basis, when you submit a credit application to a loan broker or a business broker or any kind of intermediary, and they go through their network of 15 whatever number of banks or lenders, they come back and say, hey, I got you a good deal. How do you know it's the best deal for you? Is it because they receive a special commission from one of the lenders, or maybe another one that gives you a special of the week? You really don't know. Well, you don't have to worry about that in the Ledger Funding digital marketplace, because we are not a lender, and we help do the matching so that you can have multiple choices if they are available in your geography, so that you can make the best choice for your company. So the kind of folks we would like to work with are any growing business, whether they are importers, exporters, and we can do cross-border trade. And one thing I do want to advise the business is that if this is the first trade you're doing with your buyer overseas, this is usually does not require financing. That's where you need to get investors, because the financing companies are lenders. They want to look for past history. There's a payment, there's a performance history between you and the buyer overseas or domestic. But if you have done this before a few times, if you're looking to grow the size of your transaction, then this kind of solution will be great for you, because these are not debt and you can grow as you grow. So just want to keep that in mind. So whether you're exporters, and as I mentioned to Doug earlier, is that I'm working with the potential partners in Vietnam to help the Vietnam exporters to US and later to China and other countries in the world to grow their business. So likewise, we would love to get connected to any importer and exporter in the geographies. So thank you. Good to be here.
Awesome. Thank you. Any questions, anyone? Before I've got a couple, but has anyone else got any questions for Ling before I jump in?
Just a quick question. Then from that, does it make sense to introduce you to other agencies that are working with exporters, like what this case in Vietnam is at some point? Because it sounds like it could be interesting for you.
Yeah, I think so.
Okay.
And right now I'm just kind of want to make sure that we focus, doing very well in one country and replicate the model. But I'm actually currently working with an India exporter to US, Canada, South Africa, and Hong Kong. So yes, I'm welcome the opportunity to get a connection, because those things usually takes time.
Okay. Definitely keep us posted, and probably we should do some. Thank you.
Okay.
Ling, hi, Ling. This is Cesar. Are you connected with Santosh in India?
No, I don't know who he is.
Okay, so I'm gonna make that connection right now.
Great, thank you, Cesar.
Sure.
By the way, I got into my global chamber account. Thank you.
Good.
Awesome. So my quick question was, do you work with accountants? Because obviously they're talking to people around their funding capabilities. And at what point can someone start working with you? Like, what size of business or size of funding requirement is the entry level?
Okay, the first answer is yes. As a matter of fact, I'm working with a Dubai-based financial person. He's a CFO, like a fractional CFO. He was the one that actually introduced me to his clients in India and other countries. So the answer is yes. Number two is that usually minimum size is 50,000 USD and up. Yeah.
Okay, awesome. Thank you very much. Right, if there's no more questions, I'm going to go over to Renee next, if that's okay.
Sure. Hello. I just finished teaching a class, so I'm in a classroom at the University of Burgundy in Dijon. So that's what's behind me. This is just a side job. Normally, I am working at a company called REM Consult, and I'm helping French medical device companies that want to go to the US market. And the context is that I'm an American citizen. I have lived in Europe for quite a few years, in Switzerland and now in France, in Strasbourg. And there are very many dynamic medical device companies in France. They don't always know how to get to the market, and certainly not to the US market. So I have made the connection between the Grand Est, which is the eastern part of France, and the Midwest, as that's where I am from in the US. As I said, this is in the medical device area. So I'm very interested in working with companies that want to go to the US market. My points where I really can help is with the culture and the context. So here, for example, at the university, I give courses in international management. So I'm helping students, but I help also people in companies, startup companies, to understand the importance of culture. And I think we see that every day. And if any of you live in a different country than you were born in, you're confronted with it all the time, at every minute. And I think that students definitely don't understand that. And many people in organizations do not. They don't realize the importance of it. So I guess my ask would be, as I said, companies in the medical device area that are looking at the US market. And then if you know a company that's having problems in their global dimension because people don't manage to communicate well, that's something where I would be interested in being included or giving a webinar just to help them understand the hurdles that you can have and how you get over these hurdles in intercultural communication. Thank you.
Awesome, thank you, and nice and specific there, that one. So on the medical kind of devices, what about things like med tech? So people that are building out software, things like that. Would that still be useful for you, or is it more specifically on device and product?
Well, medical devices now it can be just the device itself, so hardware, but often it comes with software. And then now we have it's a special classification with the FDA and the European authorities. It's called software as a service.
Yes,
So that's anything that you're going to have on your phone, wearables, that's all in the same category, yes, because it's quite different process than other parts of the medical industry, than, for example, pharmaceuticals or diagnostics, where you really have, it's a whole different line. It's a much, medical devices is a shorter development time also. So that's a different way of working with the companies.
Okay, I'm plugged into a couple of start and scale up communities over here in the UK, and I know there's some kind of med tech founders within those. So, if they're
Okay.
I know where to send them if they're looking to head over to the US. So, any other questions from anyone?
Would you be open to like, I was thinking of one of our members in Malaysia who has medical products. Would that make sense for you to connect with, or is it too much out of the norm?
What kind of medical devices? That kind of depends. I mean, I have to say my knowledge and experience with the Asian markets, I don't have a lot at the moment.
Well, they're going into the US.
They're going into the US, yeah. Sure, I can point them in the right directions. I can help them with how you work with the Americans and who they should be talking to. Yes.
Okay, thanks. That's Louis Cesar, as you know.
Perfect. Awesome. Okay, thank you for that. Thank you very much, Renee. Let's go to Nee. Good to see you as ever. So can always rely on seeing your friendly face on these calls. So over to you. Seasoned pro at doing this. So
not nearly as you are. Nice to see you, Dave. Doug, thanks. Good to be here as always. My name is Nee Sanusi. I'm a lawyer in Nigeria, and I basically focus on corporates, particularly companies and individuals or groups who have interest in Nigeria's market in terms of investment, trade information, all kinds. We're also a first point of contact for almost all things Nigeria, so long as there's interest. And by extension, we also have a very strong network of law firms that we are affiliated with across the continent. So whether it's in Egypt or South Africa or Tanzania, Kenya, Zimbabwe, and a few other countries, if you have interest in the African market in a variety of any kind of, so in terms of variety of interest, I think we can be able to either do it directly or link you up with someone who can on the continent. And we know that, or we realize that the African continent can be tough for most non-Africans to navigate, sorry. And so we try to help with the hand-holding exercise as best we can. So should you need support in any way in these ways, Africa and Nigeria, please feel free to reach out. Thank you very much.
Brilliant. Thank you, Nee. Any questions, Nee? Oh, you're good. Okay. What I'll just encourage people to do as well, if you want to drop your details, LinkedIn profiles, all that sort of stuff into the chat so that everyone can connect with each other, then feel free to do so. And while you're all doing that, Edmundo, I'm going to come across to you if that's okay. Oh, we can't hear you. No, I'm afraid not.
Uh-oh.
Oh yeah, I think that was it. No. How strange. Right. While Edmundo tries to sort that out, Catherine, are you there? We saw quick flashes of you. Are you there and able to kind of quickly present? Oh, it flickered. Yeah, there we are. Brilliant. Oh,
I've got a problem with my video for some reason. It doesn't want to stay on. It keeps turning itself on, but then it turns itself back off again.
how strange.
But I can talk.
Yeah. There we go.
Sorry about that. I am running a consultancy in Europe, helping food and beverage companies either enter into the European markets, especially if they're British companies, for example, or to go eastwards into Asia. So my heart would beat for the Asian markets, but I appreciate that lots of people are actually just looking to export into Europe, be they US or UK companies. And I'm also recently doing quite a lot of coaching for young export sales professionals who basically don't know how to run a distributor team and who are looking for somebody to do a bit of hand holding because maybe their head of sales doesn't have time to do that coaching for them.
Awesome. Okay. And who are they? And who do you work with, Catherine? Outside of FMC, outside of kind of the FMCG brands, are there good partners for you? People who are working with your market.
Which kind of partners do you mean?
I mean, are there other people that you work with who are also working with your target market and referring? The reason why I ask is I know a couple of people in this space. One of them does PR and helps launch brands. Another one is in the distribution side as well. So just wondering if yeah.
Yes, I mean I seem to have video. I'm always looking for potential collaboration partners, potential distributors, and I'm always happy to have a chat with somebody who is working in a similar space. So always very open for any connections.
Awesome. I've got a couple of people I might be able to connect you up with them. And I like that. Curiosity is the birthplace of opportunity, I like to say. So where there's an opportunity to be curious and connect, I think it's always a worthwhile one to do, right? Any other questions for Catherine, people?
Well, quick question on your view of China, because you're obviously someone who loves China. You've been very successful there. What was your impression of the APEC meeting comments by President Xi? And should we be thinking about China a little bit more because of those?
I think that, I mean, the other thing that's very interesting is that today China announced that a group of 6 countries are going to be able to have visa-free business trips to China from the 1st of December. Unfortunately, it doesn't include my passport, but I have a visa at the moment. So, and I would say, I think China is trying to soften their approach. I think that they are trying to reach out to the world a little bit without losing face, of course, because they're Asian and they don't want to be seen to be being too soft, or Xi also can't be seen to be capitulating to the Americans, as it were, as far as the Chinese people are concerned. So I think that China, we should never underestimate China. And I think that we should also not underestimate the Chinese economy and its resilience and its ability to bounce back. I've been talking with a lot of people recently about China Plus One, and we've been seeing a lot of those companies who've been thinking about expanding their distribution base into ASEAN, that they're realizing it's not actually as easy as they thought it might be, because there's simply not the infrastructure in place. There are not the people with the kind of training there. Yes, you can see it as a long-term strategy, but it's not something that you can just kind of plug and play, and that for a lot of them, doubling down on China is a better option, where they have a lot of trained staff and they have those processes that are already running, you know. So I think we should never completely give up on China. And I've said all along that I don't think China is looking for any kind of armed confrontation, which, you know, lots of people have been saying it's just a matter of time. I don't think China is looking for that.
What other countries besides China are you comfortable with?
Korea, Vietnam, Vietnam, and then I would say probably most of Southeast Asia. So Singapore, Philippines, Indonesia, Malaysia. I'm not such a Thailand specialist. Yeah, those would be my, and Taiwan, of course.
Awesome. Thank you, Catherine. Any other questions for Catherine, people? Well, brilliant. Well, thank you, and thank you for that insight as well. Really, really valuable info there. So clearly demonstrating your knowledge and expertise of the region. Edmundo, do you want to give us a go? Should we see if we can hear you now?
Let's give it a try. Can you hear me now?
Hey,
Hey,
you're
finally.
loud and clear. Over to you.
I changed my earbuds, and I've been struggling because my all headphones, died yesterday, and I'm like trying how to get these ones, but actually they work pretty well, and I finally got the microphone to be working. Well, thank you, and great seeing all of you. I think I've met a few of you already, and thank you for the opportunity. Always love to be part of these network and explore new opportunities. For those of you that I haven't met yet, my name is Edmundo. I serve as head of international business at MCoreSoft. We are a software development company with offices in the US and Mexico, and we provide different kinds of services, mostly related to software development, web and app application, and also different platform implementation. Okay? We do provide as well nearshoring services for those of you who need teams or software developers to work with you for certain projects as an extension of your team. We do that too. And yeah, we keep expanding our markets. We keep expanding our wings. We're about to launch, and this is something new I haven't shared with the community yet. We are about to launch a payment platform for educational institutions to want to make sure that everything's ready. This is mostly designed for the Mexican market, but could be used to other markets as well. When you could have a platform to pay everything related to the educational services. Sometimes you got to pay uniforms on one side, you got to pay books from the other side, you got to pay tuition from one side, and all of that. So we are covering everything in one platform. So that's a new project that we're launching now. But overall, I mean, if you're looking to have access to more support in the tech area, or to improve your procedures in terms of how to make things easier as part of your team, or if you need team members, I mean, we can reach out. I'm happy to connect, and looking forward to speaking with you all.
Brilliant, awesome. So an education focus, but broader software development. And what size projects do you start from, Edmundo?
Mm-hmm. So in terms of like projects, when I mentioned, it could be anything that needs to be customized, either from scratch or something that you need to build that you have already built. Let's say you already have a platform, you wanna, let's say, track progress, you wanna track measurement, we do that too. Despite having the development service, which is the core of our operations, we do have additional services on that. Like you want to track data, how data is working with everything that you have. We do that. We have data analysis on board our team. You want to work with design. So I have a platform. It's nice, but I want to, elevate it to the next level. We have designers on board our team to help you work there. You want to track also financial results. So maybe I could elevate this. We have financial analysis or business analysis how we call it on board our team. So these are just the scope of services of the project. So we could either work on something that you really want to implement from zero, or something that a specific area of your operation that you want to keep, and enhance it, or just give heads up. We could do that.
Yeah, awesome. And you mentioned that the payment for the education space was focused on the market. Is that purely because that's where you're focusing it on? Is there a reason why it wouldn't work for other educational institutions, other parts of the world, if the people here were connected to those types of concepts?
Absolutely, and that's a great question to ask. It's pretty much every educational system in different regions of the world are different. And also it really depends on how well everything is enabled to work together. We mentioned this because particularly in Mexico, where this product is made for, you pay tuition mostly directly with a direct deposit, or if it's done through a website, the process is not that simple. So we want to make sure that we make it simple for everything. And the institution has the advantage, to simplify all the payment process all in one place, so they don't have to take care of that. So when it comes to other locations, we need to explore the market, but at the end, this is designed to make sure it's easier as a payment platform. Now, this could be for institutions, but it could be for any type of business that you have. Have a proper API integrated to make sure that you have the proper payment platform, so you're able to receive payments easily and efficiently. So yeah, it could be implemented to any other industry.
Yeah, okay, but the core of it is about that simplicity, though, right? Where there's some complexity within the existing process, this is where this can come in and make an impact.
Absolutely. And besides that, in some regions, education could be done more of, especially I'm not speaking on universities, but mostly on like elementary or high school. So most institutions may have already like an forms and some other not. So this is something that we need to explore more. But as for Mexico now, this is a big need, mostly for private institutions. So it could be very helpful.
Yeah, brilliant. Thank you very much. I know the payment system my kids' school uses is absolutely rubbish. So yeah, I can empathise there. Any questions or comments for Edmundo from the room? No? Well, then I'm going to move on to Luis, who's just put his camera on at just the perfect time. Thank you, Edmundo. Over to you. Luis, over to you, if that's okay.
Are you,
Yes.
Is that me, Luis? Thank you very much. Yeah, I didn't hear it. Well, my name is Luis. Thank you very much, Dave and Doug. I'm also in Mexico, but I'm in Guadalajara, Mexico. Basically, what we have been doing for many years is to help companies that come to Mexico to start their operations. We do what is called soft landing services and also site selection services. Here in the group, there are 3 companies. One is an industrial real estate developer. Another one is a real estate company. That's a brokerage company that also offer many real estate services like valuations and market studies. And in nearshoring Mexico Solutions, as I tell you, because of nearshoring that is happening a lot right now, for many companies coming from Asia, from Europe, from the United States, Latin America, Canada, in order to serve the U.S. market, because we have a 3,000 kilometers border, and we are very near. Also, we have the free trade agreement. What is happening now is very interesting because regardless of political things, what I see is that in the United States, Canada, and Mexico, we don't want to be that dependent of other regions. That doesn't mean that we don't want trade. We want a lot of trade, but we don't want to be that dependent. We suffered a lot in the COVID, that we had to stop plants. We were not receiving products. So the movement here is that we want to make more stronger and resilient our supply chain and our basically what I heard another day that it was very interesting. We want to keep going with a normal life as much as possible if something happens. So if it's Panama that the boats are not crossing, if it's right now Israel or Ukraine or COVID, whatever reason, if it's political or if it is natural, we cannot be that dependent. Of course, we want to have trade and have many trade with many nations. Actually, Mexico has 14 different treaties agreements with more than 50 countries. But what we have to do is to have more resilient, more stronger our region in order to keep going with as much as possible with a normal life if something happens. Because we really suffered a lot during the COVID because we didn't have products. We had to stop many factories, and it was really a problem to find products and to keep going with normal life. So we don't want to leave that again. And that's really what is going on in this sense. I know the US and China have their issues, but for us in Mexico is more to have a stronger region to keep going with our normal life if something happens. So basically, because of this, there are many companies coming, and we help them basically to start operations. We introduce them to lawyers, to tax people, to human resources companies, and to supply chain companies that can help them in this. My expertise goes really to the real estate side, that it is go to the site selection, and I work with the federal government and with the state government and municipal government in order to see incentives for these companies that are coming, in order to see how much they are investing and how many jobs are they creating. There are many incentives. So basically, depending on the industry, we see where is the best place so where they can start operations. So if you need, if you have a requirement, or if you see a company that is expanding or is coming to Mexico for first time, we are more than happy to try to help and add value, because we have been doing this for more than 25 years with many companies from Europe, from Latin America, from Asia, and from the United States, from all over the world. We have been helping companies when they come to Mexico.
Hey, Luis,
That's what we do.
Cesar here. Just quick question. Have you connected with Jeff Pappas already?
I don't think so. I don't
In Dallas,
think
he's based in Dallas. He's a real commercial real estate expert, and he travels the world for site selection. And he was actually in Guadalajara earlier this year. So I thought that would be a good one.
It will be good to meet him, and thank you very much if you can make the introduction. We have an alliance with a company that is very important in Dallas, Texas, that is called the Site Selection Group. We work with those guys, providing information when they ask us if they are making a site selection study for a specific company. They ask us for a lot of information in terms of demographics, economics, infrastructure, different sites that could be available for them, etc.
Okay, I'm gonna make that connection right away.
Thank you so much. Muchas gracias.
Awesome. Any other questions from the floor? No. So thank you for your update there, Luis. Ruby, are you with us and able to join? No, I think I've seen Ruby's been coming out.
I am here indeed. It's just that. Hello, everyone. Can you hear me okay?
Yes.
Yeah,
a little bit with an echo, but we can hear you.
Okay. I have been having some unstable internet, so please forgive me if it goes. So I'm based in Accra. I'm in the business of helping companies bring out their products or services to Ghana and other parts of Africa. So it could be in the form of market research, or finding you distributors, partners, or country representatives. We simply tailor our services to meet your specific needs. So it can range from any kind of requirement. So please feel free I'll put my details in the chat. If you're interested in exploring my market, I'll be happy to help. Thank you.
Brilliant. Kept it nice and short and sweet before your internet drops out, I think there, Ruby, wasn't it? So nicely done. Any questions for Ruby? Or with her intermittent internet, it might actually be better to connect with her on LinkedIn and drop them over there, I'm going to suggest. Zach, are you with us? I know you've been there from the start of the call, kind of off screen. No, Zach. Rob, I think you're the last but not least. Would be you if you're there, Rob. Saw him quickly when he jumped in. No. Okay. Well, in that case, then, I suppose I should do me, shouldn't I? Thinking about it. So I'm going to do me.
Hey, Dave. Hey, Dave. Who do you want to meet, and how else can we help you?
Oh, we've got Rob. You know what? We've got Rob. So let's go Rob first. There we go. Rob, over to you.
Good morning. Thank you for having me. I'm Rob Arthurs. I'm headquartered in Vancouver, Canada. My specialty right now is international trade. I help companies in Canada go global, taking advantage of our free trade agreements that Canada has around the world. And right now I'm specializing in a couple of things, and that's agri-tech. So I'm working with companies that are doing agricultural technologies, matching them with Canadian companies. I'm working on my 4th contract with the government of Netherlands to have an inbound delegation from the Netherlands in agri-tech, and it's their ministers or entrepreneurs, their universities coming to Vancouver to have a look at what's happening in this particular area. So if you know somebody that's in the agri-tech field, whether it's Canadian or American or global for that matter, I'm trying to connect the community of agri-tech together. I'm a speaker at an aquaculture event in January, and aquaculture is definitely part of the agri-tech. A lot of things that are used in agriculture today are being crossed over into aquaculture as well, and with great success. So whether it's a water filtration system that's used in a greenhouse, it's the same technology that's used in aquaculture as well. So yeah, that's my mainstay right now. That's my main business. In January, I'm building a mastermind group for young entrepreneurs to put together that's affordable for people, the SMEs that can't afford one-on-one coaching. So we're putting them together so they become their own mastermind group and a quasi board of directors for entrepreneurs. So that's a bit about what I'm working on right now. Thank you.
And who's will there be a focus on any particular sector for the mastermind group? A big believer in masterminds, by the way. I wouldn't be without my peer group. I think it's the number one thing that any business owner, when they start, should do is find that close peer group in my mind. But yeah, is there any particular sectors that will focus on, or is it for anyone who wants to support?
At this point in time, Dave, I'm going to have a potpourri of different businesses. With a big focus on international trade, side hustles, people that are all trying to demystify there's so much hype on the internet. We're going to try to demystify in those groups with the 11 other disciples that you're part of, what's real and what's not. And so right now, once I get the group started, I will do everything like I can and divide it into sector specific. But for now, I'm opening it up to all in entrepreneurs. There won't be duplicates in the group, but it's for any entrepreneur that's interested in building their business that doesn't want to, in this economy, that's sort of what's real and what's not. I'm opening it up to all businesses.
Yeah, and the joy of some of these groups is where there are people from completely different sectors to you, because people do things in different ways, and that
100%
of ideas and thoughts is where some real magic can happen, actually. So yeah, brilliant.
Well, and Dave, in my own mastermind group, the best lesson I ever got was from a guy that owned a dry cleaner, and I'm like, okay, that's got nothing to do with agriculture, but the guy gave me the best tips and some of the best information I still use today from my mastermind group.
Yeah, I think people think in different ways, don't they? And so you get that different. I know someone who's an investor and a chairperson in 2 or 3 agri-tech businesses over here in the UK, so I will make that connection
Awesome. Thank
that
you.
That seems like an
Appreciate
obvious. Any questions for Rob from anyone else? Nope. In which case, then I'm going to do me. So hi everyone. My name's Dave Plunkett. I'm based in the UK, which is why it's dark outside now, because it's 5 o'clock somewhere, is the saying, isn't it? Well, it's almost 5 o'clock on a Friday here. So I founded a business called Collaboration Junkie. We help brands really make the most of word of mouth. So whether that's building cultures of referrals within their brand, so that all stakeholders and customer-facing people feel confident in asking for referrals and introductions, and putting the processes in place at businesses so that this stuff happens on a consistent basis. Or I use my dance framework, my five-step framework for helping businesses form strategic referral partners. So this is where you work with another business that has a vested interest in the ability to introduce your ideal clients to you on a consistent basis. And I help my clients identify who their ideal partners are, which is the D, the discovery. A is assembly, so all the systems you need to deliver a consistent level of service. N is nurturing, which is how you have the right communication processes to really form rock solid relationships with your partners. C is connection, which is how you actually help your partners connect you to their audience, what support you're giving them so that those leads actually get passed. And E is engagement. How do we go out there and find more partners? So I typically do that for business to business service brands, with a particular specialism in agencies. I run a couple of different formats. I do some online group programs, which are for smaller businesses, but my real sweet spot is in the kind of 1 to 5 million turnover space and upwards, where they're really looking to get this stuff implemented right. I also do a reasonable amount of public speaking. And so my specific request is in 2024, I am looking to start breaking into the US market. And so if you know of any agency communities or conferences where they're looking for speakers, where they would potentially be looking for speakers around referrals and partnerships, that would be an amazing introduction for me. Yeah, that's me. Which, unless Zach is going to miraculously appear, no, I think that brings us to a close. So, as I said, it's the saying says it's 5 o'clock somewhere. Well, it is here almost. So I'm going to be going for a well-deserved end of week beer after this call. But I just want to, but thank you all for your contributions. I hope remember to put your details in the chat, connect with each other on LinkedIn, where there are connections to be made, actually follow through and make those. There's a wonderful saying that I use all the time, which is the fortune is in the follow-up. So if there's been someone on the call today who has said that they've got a potential introduction for you, follow up with them. Don't, if it doesn't come through, it could just be that they've forgotten. Give them a nudge, reach out, see if there's anything you can do to help them make that introduction. The fortune is in the follow-up. So thank you all for your contributions. Thank you, Doug, for giving me the opportunity to moderate and host today. And I will hand back to you. I'll hand back to you.
You're amazing. Thank you very much. Appreciate it. The fortune is in the follow-up. That will be a quote that we'll put in a LinkedIn post today with all of your names connected so that you, if you haven't already, be able to connect up with each other. It's a reasonably quiet week next week at Global Chamber. We've got a few things coming up, like the normal monthly Globinar for Global Women Online to network, and looks like we have a Latin American event. We have the Accra event. We've got an Atlanta advisory board. We've got a Globinar on reducing stress, considering all the things that you have coming up. I'm trying to remember who is that. Oh, that's Barry. So Barry Berman, he has been an instrumental leader in my own personal development, I think, around the concepts of integrity, which he talks a lot about in his programs, and leadership. And he's going to be talking about how to reduce stress if you have some, you might have some. There's a lot going on, and the holidays are coming up, compounding things. So check that out. Cesar, is there anything else that we should know about? I know we've got a big league of opportunities coming up on the 15th of December.
So I was just typing about that in the chat. Thank you, Doug. And so Dave, thanks for moderating today, for helping us with this. And Dave, I want to see you on the 15th, as well as Lynn, Renee, Luis, Nigi, Edmundo, Rob, Kevin, everyone. I want to see you on the 15th. We are partnering with one of our members, which it's called My Business Matches, and there's gonna be a pre-registration for you to put all your info in their platform, and then doing our event. We'll be doing matchmaking, and then the Monday and Tuesday after, there are gonna be some. Actually, it's gonna be a full day meetings, one-on-one meetings that you will be able to connect with fellow Global Chamber members. So we're looking to have as many members as possible that day. I put the link there. There's probably gonna be some follow-ups and things that might require your attention before the event. But Elisa here is gonna be helping us to be on top of that. So we look forward to having you all there.
Thanks, everybody. Thank you again, Dave. You're extraordinary.
Thank you.
Thanks,
Thank you.
everybody.
Cheers, everyone.